So we've already showed who the secret weapon in this campaign is. Good morning. That's it. It's good to see so many friends today, and I want to give some special attention to my Patriot Riders, to the Blue and Gold Star mothers that are here today, and the Utah Pipe Band. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me and my family in making this announcement for the candidacy for the next governor of Utah. Josie, thanks for those kind remarks. Of our work together in the Small Business Administration, I'm proud of you and what you have accomplished for small business and for our minority community. What a great honor to serve you both in the Army and business. Will, to me, you represent the Utah soldier who places hope and promise in the Utah dream. Thank you. And Karen, thanks for your great example for all of us. You're leading public service everywhere. Your service in the state legislature, Lieutenant Governor, and the major offices that you hold and have held, and your great support for the mayor. We'd love to have you here, and thank you so much for the great introduction to Heather. And thanks to my wife, the secret weapon, and my family, who have been here at Fort Douglas for many years. Now our family has another mission. Charlie Mike. That means continue the mission in military talk. I don't run to become your governor merely to oppose any person. I am running because I have always felt the need to serve, and especially our country. Service is what makes our country, and especially our state, a shining example throughout the world. And I feel this is my time to serve and for this great state and to be your next governor. We live in times when jobs and investment capital move around the globe at the speed of light. We live in a time where Utah is changing faster than any time in our lives. Utah will need real leadership, stronger leadership, to guarantee Utah's prosperity in the 21st century. And we need it now. And that is why I'm running for governor, to bring strong leadership to our state at a time when we badly need it. As many of you know, I have been a military man nearly all my adult life, as well as a successful business owner. In the course of many decades serving our nation and building my business, I have learned some lessons that I intend to bring to the Capitol as governor of Utah. And the first lesson I have learned from the Army is you never rest on your laurels. Never. The military, we learn and relearn this lesson all the time. You master a plan or a tactic, and then the enemy attacks you from a completely different angle. The lesson of never resting on past achievements applies to Utah today more than ever. While Utah may look like it's in better shape than many states, things are changing fast, and what worked in the past won't be good enough in the years to come. Our population is rising quickly, bringing new opportunities with an industrious workforce and also new challenges. For these reasons, our educational system more and more is important to the center of gravity of our economic growth and our future jobs. Yet our public schools rank 42nd in the nation by Education Week magazine, and we rank 51st, yes, 51st in pupil funding, dead last. This is creating a culture of continual decline in Utah. The largest class sizes in the nation, the lowest test scores, kids not ready to start college, kids who can't afford college, kids who start but never finish college. These are proven facts in Utah's direction for the last 15 years. That is embarrassing. And obviously, harmful to our kids and to all Utahns. Utah's economy may look like it's okay right now, but are we? If we continue to neglect our schools, Utah business leaders, through the Prosperity 2020 initiative, are trying to tell our state legislature that, thank you, I needed that, that education is economic development and our future jobs. If we want better education, we need our state politicians to become better educated about the vital role education plays in our economy. And to understand, while raising the standard is imperative for growth in the future of more jobs. As they say in sports, you are what your record says you are. Utah will not be able to compete in a global economy if we don't fix our education right now. And it has to be done. It's a crisis. And may I add, the way to do this is not to vilify our educators. We must not do to teachers and principals what we did to the soldiers and officers in Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11. Put this whole burden on their backs, with a majority of Americans doing nothing but applauding or criticizing on the sidelines. I needed that. So we have a choice. Do we settle for a bad record on education, turn our heads hoping for the best? Or do we choose stronger leadership to address our greatest challenge in future jobs for Utahns? The second lesson I have learned from my experience in the Army is that we need to apply this completely to today, and that is putting our differences and our narrow interests aside to work together for a common good. The good of the unit, the common good of a state as a whole. I will never forget the days after 9/11. We asked to mobilize our Utah Reserve soldiers for immediate action into combat. That meant our soldiers had to be equipped, trained, and prepared to leave their jobs and families immediately. There were no excuses for anybody. We had to face the situation. We had to adapt to the mission. I remember soldiers improvising ways to add additional armor for the vehicles to protect them against the new enemy, which was attacking us by IEDs. We knew the mission. We put American and its citizens before our personal well-being. But in Utah today, the common good is losing out. It's being shoved aside by one-party rule, closed caucus, narrow political party conventions, producing results that simply do not reflect the common sense and the moderation of Utahns. And this continues year after year after year. The result is that many Utahns have given up on state government and their belief in the integrity of leadership. In the 1980s, Utah ranked in the top 10 nationwide to voter turnout. Since 2006, we have sunk to the bottom 5. Why? Too many Utahns no longer see the sense in voting because they feel they have no voice. But I believe we can restore the Utah can-do spirit. We can conquer the problems that face us. That was the spirit of our pioneers, and we can restore that spirit when we stand tall for Utah. Utah founders never intended to be a one-party state. They, like the founding fathers of our nation, understood for the common good results from a two-party system. This is checks and balances, and I will bring that as your governor. The change I seek for Utah, the change we all must seek, is not that one party or the other be in control. The small towns and the main streets of Utah are not like backroom politics. In Utah, most people are cared about the individual representing them, not the partisan labels. They care about integrity and character. I believe that the majority of Utahns are like those who are here today. They're asking for someone who believes in the promise of Utah. I believe there's no stronger place in Utah than a family's home. Nothing more important than fortifying that home is with a good job and an educated family. Too often we see this common good in Utah undermined because of what happens behind closed doors without public scrutiny and the benefits of bipartisan discussion. I ask you, do you want leaders making decisions behind closed doors? No! Is that the leadership that addresses the common good of the state of Utah? No! As your governor, I will bring strong leadership back to our state. I will apply these two lessons I've learned in the military every single day. Never rest on your laurels and always fight for the good of the state as a whole. I've also learned some valuable lessons in my business career that I tend to apply as a governor. For example, I provide affordable housing in Utah for the last 28 years through the use of public-private partnerships, using tax credits that provide an incentive in the private market to invest into affordable housing. Investors buy these credits to raise capital or equity for those kind of developments. This reduces the debt, and the result is housing that is more affordable. It demonstrates that government can work with the right vision with business and the public for a common good. Some of our current leaders think we cannot fix our air quality problems without harming economic growth. I don't buy that. Our state and other states can figure ways out to do both. We do not have to put up with some of the worst air quality in our nation, costing us our health and economic growth. For example, when I served the state of Utah as the Director of Economic Development, I always sought win-win solutions that help both our economy and our credible quality of life. As governor, I will do no less. I'd worked with Governor Matheson. Yes. The film industry and local business leaders to take a struggling film festival in its beginning stages and help it evolve into a very successful Sundance Film Festival. We need more public-private partnerships where government works with business to improve our economy and to create jobs. A second lesson I have learned in business career is you have to seize the moment. I started my business in the downturn in the economy in 1984 and decided that Utah will always need housing that is affordable and we can meet the needs of our young and growing population. At that time, the traditional concepts of raising equity for housing developments had been taken away in the 1986 tax reform bill. We all know Utah is an equity-poor state, so I had to figure out ways as an entrepreneur to raise capital, to invest in the growing needs of our state. And I did. And I was one of the first in the country to form these public-private partnerships in housing to raise capital and solve a vital public need. Today, Utah needs to seize the moment to improve our education and create new jobs. We need to seize the moment to support small business and help the unemployed find jobs, including the many service members returning from military service who are ready, willing, and able to work. We also need to seize the moment to save Hill Air Force Base. BRAC, the basic realignment and closure process of Hill Air Force Base, is real. Hill Air Force Base is approximately 12,000 Utahns, and when you figure it all together, it's about 36,000 Utahns, and the jobs depend upon Hill. In the course of my years as General in the United States Army, I have served in the Pentagon and watched how the BRAC process works from inside, and I can tell you that states do not get points of having a governor and state legislatures whose speeches and legislative votes blast the federal government and abandon our veterans. Is that the kind of leadership that seizes the moment to create a better future and jobs in Utah? No! As your governor, I will apply the lessons of a successful business person, a successful military serviceman, and I will seize the moment. I will find public-private partnerships where business and government come together to find solutions for our state and create new jobs. And I will not rest on our laurels. And I will fight for the good of this entire state, which means every Utahn, with all our differences. In the course of this campaign, I'm going to tell you in plain language what I intend to do as your governor, how we'll meet these challenges we face. Utahns hear daily what we're against. But in my campaign, we'll talk about what we can do together and how we can improve this state and what we are for. I run to seek solutions for this state and for our great people of this state, with all the people, where opposing views are heard and democracy thrives, where rural communities and urban populations work together as partners. I will hold meetings throughout the state with my cabinet so our government will come to you instead of you coming to our government. This is what is lacking today: a confidence, a will, and the leadership that is generated by solving hard problems together. Our leaders spend most of their times outlining what we're against, stirring people up to anger. And this has given us a political system that is stuck and under the influence of special interest, which leaves us not finding solutions for today and the future. I see the need and the call to serve our state at this time. My response will be to offer you new leadership, stronger leadership, with a plan for the future based on my decades of successful experience, both in the United States Army and the business world, and lessons carefully drawn from that success. With your help, we'll create a new day for Utah, a better future for Utahns. Thank you for joining me on this mission. I'll stand tall. Let's stand tall together. Please join me. May God bless you all in our great state.